The Cellcast is recorded in front of a live streaming audience.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Cellcast. Joining me today is a man who, well, he just wanted to chew some gum. Welcome, Jacob.
So much chewing and so much for a headache. Why, thank you. Let me use our co-host, a man who, you give him one task and you destroy the entire world. Welcome to
Well, I was thinking about it earlier today.
destroying the world.
No, I got to thinking how much, like, if you were Porky Pig, I would definitely be Daffy Duck.
Don't make me Petunia.
No, that was going to be Asher.
Oh, okay.
But she wouldn't like that either, so...
I'll be the scientist because I have glasses.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Also joining us tonight, that voice you just heard, is a man who, well, this lucky dog actually got to see it early, if I remember correctly. Welcome, PaulJPowers.com.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Glad to be back.
How did you get to see this early?
So, I follow several artists on X and Instagram who happen to work on this. They're animators. And so they're all telling their animation buddies that worked on the film, like, hey, this is playing at the animation festival. It happened to be the US premiere of this film, and so tickets were going like crazy. So I guess I was on the inside, quote unquote, to hear, like, because they get the news first. And something's happening. So I was able to find out that way because I follow their social media links. And yeah, I jumped in, and it was a packed theater. Most of the people there were animators that worked on the film itself.
Oh,
Nice.
very nice.
And then they had a Q&A with the director and the guy who voices Daffy and Porky
Oh, yeah.
afterwards. So that was fun too. I might share a little tidbit here or there what they said.
Fair enough.
The inside scoop.
So, yeah, why don't we go ahead and get into the spoiler-free section of our review right quick.
Yeah.
Certified fresh and spoiler free.
So, since Paul kind of just started that, why don't you go ahead and continue with your spoiler-free thoughts on this film?
I enjoyed the I almost said plucky. the Daffy and Porky. It's a self-contained Daffy and Porky with Petunia, no other Looney Tune characters, which I thought I would miss, but I didn't actually. They held the story very well, I thought. Without them. And so it was great to see them in their I guess they called their Warner Brother classic style,
Yeah.
those shorts that came out. So it's if you like that style of
You talking
animation,
about the 2019 show Looney Tunes cartoons?
yeah,
Max?
that came out on Max, right? But that they were modeled after like the early Looney Tunes ones. So yeah, if you
That
enjoy
makes
that
sense.
style, this is a fun sci-fi romp.
Yes.
Almost a B-movie romp.
Yeah.
It does have B-movie romp.
Yeah, this is the third time I've seen it because I did get to go see it in theaters back when it came out in March. I
Nice.
think it was March. And it was almost a last minute thing. I didn't even get a chance to tell Jacob I was going to the theater, which I still apologize for because this would have been a good one to react to.
Yeah.
But we didn't think to do that at the time
No,
because
it's all
it
good.
was, like I said, last minute, and our schedules back in March were not aligning very well.
No, they weren't.
So, in fact, our schedules haven't really aligned very well this whole year
No,
to
they
do
haven't.
that sort of thing. But we'll get some more going. But
It doesn't look like it's going to clear up anytime soon either.
yeah, when it came out on Blu-ray, I went ahead and purchased a copy and
Nice.
watched it within that time period because, you know, I'm not a big fan of what Zaslav tried to do for all this mess. So
Was
yeah,
that an intentional cough there, Jacob?
No, it was very
well timed.
intentional. It was very intentional. Cough.
yeah. And I want to support animation as much as I can, especially when this nearly didn't get released.
Yeah.
Although this was in better shape apparently than Coyote versus Acme was in terms of getting released, from what I read.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see.
Yes,
finally.
Next year, right?
Yeah, sometime next year.
Yeah.
But and then of course I watched it for this. It was I've enjoyed it every single time I've watched it, which to a degree I'm actually surprised by, because a lot of for me, for the most part, Looney Tunes hasn't hit like most of the stuff made after the 1940s and 50s has not really hit for me in terms of the Looney Tunes Merry Melody stuff, for whatever reason. Some stuff works very well, like the first Space Jam, but there's a lot of, you know, rose-colored tinted glasses on that one because I was a kid and it was the thing at the time.
Yeah.
And there's been some other stuff I've enjoyed that was more recent, but for the most part, it's all been like, oh, that was a Looney Tunes thing.
Yeah.
They tried, but they didn't quite get there. Though granted,
Back in Action. Anybody remember that movie?
I still have not watched Back in Action.
I want to rewatch it, but every time I'm like, nah, there's other stuff I'd rather.
Yeah, I've got more things to review.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we can always add that to the list at some point to force us to get to it.
Yes.
And we still need to do a full review of Space Jam New Legacy also, unfortunately.
That's right, we did.
Because we did do a reaction.
Skip me on the invite for that one, but if you do Looney Tunes Back in Action, I would be happy to join you
I
for
will
that.
mark that down and actually remember to keep you on that list, unlike I did with somebody else who's coming on later this month. We'll tell that story when we get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed this film. It's done very well. I was surprised how much I enjoyed it, and I just like it more and more every time I watch it. So definitely, if you have any interest in Looney Tunes, I suggest go watching this film, and show it to your kids. It's good, clean fun for them as well.
You know what's weird, Drew? Sorry to butt in, but I felt exactly the same way. This is my second time seeing it. I had another chance to see it in theaters again, but I didn't, and but I didn't think I would like it as much the second time, but I enjoyed it much more than I thought I would, and in fact I enjoyed it more the second time myself. So
nice.
I'm in the same camp with you on that.
Jacob.
So I've only watched this once for the review, and I enjoyed it to an extent. Now granted, like you guys have seen it 2-3 times at this point, so I don't have the advantage you guys have watching the movie twice. But I enjoyed it. I think there's some little issues here and there with the story, with maybe how long it goes, or maybe how the third act ends, or something like that. But it's enjoyable. Like what Paul brought up with the idea of the how they arcing back to the old Looney Tunes. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. But I enjoyed it. I enjoy the film because again, be like a kid from the 90s watching cartoons. You always ran into Looney Tunes. The Looney Tunes are just part and parcel of your staple as a kid of that era. But I enjoyed the movie. I can't say 100% that I thoroughly loved it, but I can say I enjoyed it.
So let me ask you this, just for clarification purposes.
Yes.
Is this one of those where it's, in some cases, it's places it's taking itself too seriously, that the comedy you feel is kind of weakening it?
No.
Like a certain other sci-fi movie we've talked about in the past?
No. We are not talking about that movie.
I think Looney Tunes has a pass. I don't know why, but they generally, in my brain, like if they go way too silly, and it's like, well, it's Looney Tunes. But if they also go serious, it's like, oh, this is cool too. Somehow they have a pass to go either way. I don't know how they do that.
I can see that.
I agree. The only reason I brought the question up, and we've talked about this enough on the show, people probably know it. Back on our previous podcast, Movie of the Week, we reviewed the movie Galaxy Quest. And I think me and Jacob's brother nearly wanted to kill Jacob over his strange
I have a very odd
feelings on that movie, because it was from what I remember, the gist of your issue was that movie took itself too seriously for the comedy to be to really hit right, or it was too silly for the seriousness parts,
Right.
serious parts to hit.
Yes.
And I was wondering if this was another one of those kind of movies that hit you in that
I
weird
can see
little
that happening because it
niche.
does have both. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does have both. I do appreciate, because there again, it's Looney Tunes. It's Looney Tunes, and I get that logic. But for like I do agree with you, Drew. Sometimes I do take things and say, okay, be serious, be comical. Don't try to.
Yeah, I know
blur that
that.
line.
I know there's a weird pocket in there that.
Yeah.
I'm still not sure why Galaxy Quest is the only movie that's hit that pocket in all the years we've been podcasting.
Yeah.
Because every other one, it's like it's either one way or the other, and it's fine, and you're fine with it.
I challenge you, Jacob, to get hopped up on sugar and rewatch that movie. But
get the zoomies and watch it.
After you've recovered from your current problem.
Yeah, got my
not
current
now.
situation. Don't hype up on sugar. I'll be like, ha 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 ha. Yeah, bam.
Yeah,
when
that wouldn't be
calm
good.
down.
Yes.
Okay, so.
But I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say I absolutely loved the film, but I enjoyed it to an extent. I think there's little issues there. Again, be like cartoon logic, you got to put it in there. But
Definitely.
I think the third act for me kind of just like, okay, they're like, okay, when is this movie ending? Okay, I thought we ended. Okay, we're still going.
That's
okay.
fair.
Oh,
That is
really?
Very fair.
Yeah, I think it's a little long in the tooth, a little bit. But overall, I did enjoy the aspects of it.
The first and second act. I thought there was a lot of filling in the first. I didn't feel that way about the last.
Well,
part,
before we get talking
I agree.
into the different parts of the film, we might want to jump into the spoiler filled section, or at least save those parts for spoiler filled.
Yes.
So unless y'all are ready to move into that section,
yeah, let's go.
All right, let's go into this. Let's hit the spoiler filled section on The Day the Earth Blew Up, since I hadn't said the name of the movie prior to this point in the episode.
Oh, is that? Oh, I thought we were covering a Looney Bugs Bunny movie. No.
That's probably one.
War of the Worlds. Be like, what movie are we talking about here, man?
Which War of the Worlds? The original, the Tom Cruise one, or the one that's apparently the worst film of all time?
Yeah,
I thought that was Plan 9. No.
From some of the reviews I've heard about the newest version of War of the Worlds.
Oh, really?
Oh, wait a minute. There's another one out?
Yeah.
Obviously.
And our good buddy Dallas on Bottom Shelf has reviewed it.
Oh gosh.
So we don't have to. Fair.
Exactly. Let's go ahead and jump into the spoiler-filled section.
All right.
The following is a spoiler-filled review for the film The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. Listener discretion is advised. The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, was written and directed by Peter Braungart in his theatrical debut, and the only things he's done before this point was the Looney Tunes cartoon from 2019 that was on Max.
Wow. So his debut movie got canned and then had to be resurrected.
Bear in mind, this was not originally going to be a theatrical movie.
No,
it was going to go straight to streaming.
Mm-hmm.
And because Zaslav canceled it and Ketchup Entertainment picked it up, they put it back in theaters, or put it in theaters. So it actually got an upgrade.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was also written by Derek Bachman, Kevin Costello, Andrew Dickman, David Gimmel, Alex Kerwan, Ryan Kramer, Jason Riker, Michael Rococo, Johnny Ryan, Eddie Tagueros, Guy Barley, Josie Campbell, Gilly Nissam, and Katie Rice. I was wondering if I could get it all in one breath.
Good job.
And it is based on the Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies theatrical shorts created by Leon Schleisinger, Hugh Harmon, and Rudolph Isling, the character of Porky Pig by Friz Freeling, Daffy Duck, Tex Avery, and Bob Clampett, and Looney Tunes Cartoons 2019, developed by Peter Braungart. I was trying to be complete. Getting into the cast, we've got Eric Baza playing Daffy Duck and Porky Pig. And in the 2017 DuckTales show, he was the Beagle Boys.
Oh,
all of the Beagle Boys.
That's right.
The latest version of DuckTales.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Candy Milo played Petunia Pig and an old lady. And she is Sweetie Bird in Tiny Toon Adventures.
Oh, wow.
Peter MacNicol played the Invader. And in Ally McBeal, he played John Cage.
Is that the Mortal Kombat Johnny Cage?
I don't think it's the same Johnny Cage. That would mean Alec McBeal is a lot more different show than I thought it was.
Well, it had a dancing baby, right? So maybe.
Raiden, fight.
Carlos Alazraqui, apologies if I said that name wrong, played the news anchor and Gary, and he played Mr. Crocker in Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh.
Fred Tatasciore was the scientist and Farmer Jim, and he was Shax in Star Trek Lower Decks.
Oh, now I recognize that name. Okay.
Lorraine Newman played Mrs. Grecht, the HOA lady.
Oh,
and
gosh.
She is one of the original cast members on Saturday Night Live from back in the 70s.
Wow.
Huh.
And Wayne Knight played the mayor, and he was Nedry on Jurassic Park.
Newman.
And that too. Kingdom Hearts connections. How many do y'all think we've got?
It's over 9,000.
No, not
lower.
Yeah, not quite.
I just had to throw that in there. We had to start somewhere.
Yes. So
I'm going to say 3.
I'm gonna go 5.
Well, Paul's the one who got it right on the dot. Woo! Because we've got Carlos Alazraqui, who was the news anchor, and Gary. He is Mike Wazowski in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Mike Wazowski.
Fred Tatasciore, aka the scientist and Farmer Jim, plays Kevin Flynn and Clue in Kingdom Hearts. The version from Tron Legacy, not the original Tron.
Oh, okay.
I should be more specific because those are 2 different characters. And lastly, Keith Ferguson, who was Chewie the mascot in this. That was at the chewing gum with legs there at the thing when Daffy first goes crazy.
Like, okay, where did Chewie from Star Wars come to this movie?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I had to double check, but yeah, it's the mascot character that's at the celebration there when Daffy goes nuts. He was Marluxia in Kingdom Hearts.
Who's Marluxia?
The main bad guy of the trading card game one, which is a weird game, and I never got to it when I was doing Untangling Kingdom Hearts, but that's beside the point.
Fair enough.
Jacob, what do we got in info and stuff?
All right, so info and stuff. IMDb has a 6.8 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes is 85 out of 85. Its audience score is 80. You can watch it on HBO Max if you have a subscription, which I've always found weird, is that HBO or Warner Brothers dismissed the movie. We don't want to do anything with it. It gets picked up by Catch Up Entertainment, and now they have the streaming rights to it.
Yes, because if there's money to be made, they want some of it. Yes.
Yeah, they like, oh yeah, we don't want to do this anymore. Let's get another distributing arm to put it out for us, but we get streaming rights.
Right.
It's because, Jacob, Warner Brothers, Zaslav, let's be honest, it was Zaslav, tried to have his cake and eat it too, and he succeeded.
Oh yeah, I'm aware.
He got his insurance money, and he still got to put it out.
Let them eat cake, as they paraphrase oh crap, I'm losing history points here, bro. Come on. Antoinette the
and her sister I was quoting Toy Story. Let's move on.
Oh, okay, never mind. All right, so going on to production, which is weird. Normally I read all my stuff off my iPad, which I'm recording from my iPad, so I got to read off my phone. Nuance. Production was Warner Bros. Animation. Distribution here in the United States was Catch Up Entertainment. Its runtime was 91 minutes. I may have an issue with that runtime. Release date was June 11th, 2024. Now, where do you think this was originally, like, it was premiered? What do you think it was?
I think it was like Cannes. It was somewhere in Europe, I think.
Europe's close.
See, Paul would have a better way of knowing than we would, probably.
I don't know if it's not Cannes.
England.
No, the Toronto.
Mm-mm.
No, film.
Nope.
No, I don't
London.
know.
Area 51.
Now you're just going nutty.
It's that asteroid that's coming to Earth.
Yeah, that's exactly where it was from. It was premiered in Annecy Entertainment Animation Film Festival in Annecy, France.
Wow.
France, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
And
near
here in the United States on March 14th, 2014. Box office at an estimated budget of $15 million. It had an opening weekend of $3.1 million on March 16th.
Mm-hmm.
Its domestic gross was $8.8 million, and its international gross was 15.3. So, yeah, it didn't make its budget back, but I'm pretty sure it sold something on its Blu-ray and digitals.
Yeah.
All right, so
it made enough money for Ketchup to want to go after Coyote versus Acme.
Yeah, I think they would have gone. I think they would have gone after it anyway because
probably
with how much hype and everything's behind this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
But with them not making their money back, I was surprised they went for the Coyote. But I'm so glad they did.
That's what I kept thinking. I was like, you didn't make your budget back, and plus all the marketing and everything you had to do to pay for the film, and then your marketing and distribution.
Yeah. Well, with almost no effort, Coyote versus Acme became a viral meme on the internet as soon as we got wind of it.
That is true.
I did not know about the day the Earth blew up until Paul posted on Twitter or Facebook or wherever it was. I saw it saying, "Hey, I got to go see this movie."
That's right.
This is a movie that exists.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
But I can see where Ketchup Entertainment, even though they lost big on this one, be like not even back the budget for it. But I think it's more because they want to put out the stuff that people really want to see, like the day the Earth blew up, Coyote versus Acme. I'm curious if they're going to go after Batgirl whenever that comes up.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I think that one still had some work that still needed to be done when it got canned.
Yeah,
from what I remember reading, because it was not because this movie was very close to release when it went, and I think Coyote versus Acme only had like some special effects shots still to do, not a lot. So maybe they could work around that if they can't put more money into it to finish it. I don't know. Yeah, but like from what I remember, Batgirl had gone back a couple of times and was still an issue.
Yeah,
when it got canned. From what I remember,
I would love if somebody leaked it. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I would love to see it.
Just leak it and let everybody watch it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I finished this."
Speaking of leaked movies, if you don't mind me going off the subject here real quick,
ahead.
I'm just curious. Did you guys ever see the leaked Popeye movie that was just? It was nothing. It was storyboards. It was supposed to be 3D animated. Yeah, but I think like the director, or after it got canned, like the director leaked it online.
I saw that.
Okay, it's an interesting film. Anyway, continue.
All right. So home release. The Day the Earth Blew Up was originally set to be released on HBO Max and the Acme Night block on Cartoon Network. On August 22nd, however, it was reported that due to reconstruction at Warner Bros. Discovery, the film would no longer be released on those channels, and then instead would be shopped around to other streaming platforms. On June of 2023, the film was retitled Looney Tunes Bubble Brains. In October 2023, it was announced that the film would instead be released in theaters in 2024 with the title reversed to its original title. GFM Animation launched sales and presented the first look footage at the American Film Festival, which ran from October 31st to November 5th, 2026. The film world premiere took place.
You mean 2023?
That's what I meant to say. What did I say?
2024? You said 2026.
Oh, okay. Go figure. Let's see. Like I said, the world premiere took place at Annecy Entertainment World Animation Film Festival on June 11th, 2024. It was the first release, theatrical in Germany and Switzerland in August 1st of that year by Warner Bros. Pictures. Let's see. That same month, it was announced that Ketchup Entertainment acquired the North American distribution rights, and the film was screened at the Animation is Film Festival in Los Angeles, California.
That's where
on October 19th, 2024.
No, wait.
What?
I don't remember. Go ahead.
Okay.
That sounds about right, because that's when I remembered you posting that.
I was about to say, if that was the LA, did you say that was the Los Angeles animation?
Los Angeles.
Yeah, then that's where I was. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. 2 days prior to the LA screening, Ketchup Entertainment scheduled the film's wide theatrical release in the United States for February 28, 2025. On February 5th of the same year, it was revealed that the film's wide release was pushed back to March 14th of that same year in order to be eligible for an Academy Award for Best Animated Feature for that year's awards. The film was released in limited theaters in LA for 7 days, starting on the 13th of that year. In Australia, the film was released by Pinnacle Films on March 27th, 2025. That's all I have for info stuff.
Oh, and you said that they timed it special so that they could be considered for an Academy Award.
Yes.
Spoiler, they weren't even nominated.
Which is a shame, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
So before we get into the summary, Lego Puppy Nados, I think is how you say that name, in the chat says I'm also very excited for Coyote versus Acme next year, since Warner Brothers is allowing them to produce it instead of using it as a tax write-off as they were originally planning on doing. He said people were begging for Warner Brothers to release Coyote versus Acme, and I truly didn't believe they would have allowed that to come out if they weren't for a small success and Ketchup Entertainment. And pretty much that's So why don't we go ahead and get into the summary for this?
Yes.
In the town of Grandview, a scientist discovers an asteroid heading towards Earth, but then discovers a UFO hurtling alongside it, which crashes onto Earth. When he goes to investigate, he vanishes. Years earlier, Daffy Duck and Porky Pig were raised by a farmer named Jim, who left everything to the duo under the promise that they would learn the power of responsibility through relying on each other. In the present, Daffy and Porky fail a home inspection when the inspector, Mrs. Greck, points out a gigantic hole in their roof caused by the UFO. With little time to repair their house before it's condemned, the duo is forced to come up with money to pay for the repairs. After being fired from multiple jobs due to Daffy's antics, the duo come across Petunia Pig, a scientist working at the Goody Gum Factory, trying to find the perfect flavor. She offers the two a job at the candy factory, and they accept. After completing their first shift with no issues, Daffy discovers the scientist pouring green goo into the gum supply. Recognizing the goo as the same residue lining the hole in their roof, Daffy tries to alert Porky, but he dismisses it as paranoia. The new gum flavor is launched worldwide, and Daffy realizes everyone chewing the gum gets turned into a zombie. He tries to warn the public at the launch party, only to get arrested after he annoys the mayor. Consequently, he and Porky are fired. After a frustrated Porky bails Daffy out of jail, the duo meet up with Petunia again. Daffy asks her to investigate a gum sample, and she discovers an alien invader is responsible for contaminating the gum. The invader turns the gum into a sentient monster to eliminate the three from thwarting his plans. But they are able to defeat it. Getting an idea, the three conceive a plan to spray people with Petunia's rotten egg extract in order to make them spit out the gum and burn it while in midair. Concerned that Daffy will only get in the way, Porky tells him to stay behind and lay eggs in order to produce more extract. Porky and Petunia are successful in their plan until Daffy decides to step in and try to fight back as well, causing him to accidentally destroy their weapons. Petunia is captured while Porky and Daffy are abducted by the invader. With all of Earth's population under his control, the invader initiates the second step of his plan, which has everyone blow a bubble big enough to encase the entire planet. Daffy and Porky escape confinement, managing to free Petunia and the scientist, as well as popping the bubble. However, it turns out the invader was trying to protect Earth, as the asteroid from earlier is still hurtling towards the planet. His plan was to use the gum bubble as a shield to bounce the asteroid away, saving Earth and its precious resource of boba tea that he cherishes dearly. Remembering Petunia's exploding gum, the three, with the help of the invader and the scientist, enter a weak spot in the asteroid and place the surplus of the gum by a large crystal. where a surplus of wind-up novelty teeth will chew up the gum. When the teeth are accidentally tipped over, Porky instructs Daffy to go crazy, where his antics cause stalactite crystals to fall and chew the gum. However, when the three attempt to escape, Daffy gets stuck and Porky refuses to leave his side. The asteroid explodes before hitting Earth, and Daffy and Porky are presumed dead. Whilst everyone on Earth celebrates, Daffy and Porky are revealed to have survived as they crash land on Earth, stuck to a large asteroid crystal. Much to the joy of Petunia, who kisses Porky and also discovers the crystals are the missing ingredient for her perfect gum flavor. As Daffy and Porky examine their destroyed house, Porky discovers behind a family portrait he saved earlier that Farmer Jim left them a $5 million home insurance contract, thus allowing them to build a new house. Miss Correct returns for a follow-up inspection, only for Porky, Daffy, Petunia, the invader, and the scientist to flex their new mansion to her, causing her head to explode.
Oh, they even included that post-credit scene there.
Yes. And then, of course, they do the whole, that's all, folks, which then Daffy says, oh, you got to leave room for the sequel.
Right.
So
that was fun. Yeah, that's the post-credits. I guess the other one's the mid.
That's mid credits.
Yeah,
it's all after the thing's technically over, so it's all after.
Yeah,
technically they're all after credits scenes because some credits happened before it. But anyway,
everyone got that.
Good. Getting into the trivia. Originally set to be released on the streaming service Max, Warner Brothers Discovery passed on the film's release, deciding to cancel the film to use as a tax write-off, as they had with Coyote versus Acme. However, because the director and production team had done such a good job of keeping the budget low, Warner Brothers allowed the film to be shopped to other distributors. Ultimately, the film's North American distribution rights were acquired by Ketchup Entertainment, making it the first Looney Tunes production not distributed domestically by Warner Brothers Pictures, though they still retained the distribution rights in Germany and Switzerland. Ketchup Entertainment would later obtain distribution rights to the previously canceled Coyote versus Acme, coming out next year. This is the first fully animated Looney Tunes feature-length film to be released theatrically. All prior films were either compilations of shorts or partially live action.
Yep. Oh, okay.
Though based on Looney Tunes cartoons from 2019, voice actor Bob Bergen does not reprise his role as Porky Pig from the series, with Eric Balza taking on the role instead. The diner where Daffy and Porky meet Petunia is called Clampett's, a tip of the hat to Robert Clampett, the animation director who inspired the film. The coffee shop the boys work at is called Beans, a nod to the early Looney Tunes partner of Porky, Porky and Beans, in the 1930s.
Huh.
This is Wayne Knight's second Looney Tunes film following Space Jam in 1996.
Yes.
Early in the film, Porky is reading a book about Gabby Goat. Gabby was a short-lived Looney Tunes character who co-starred with Porky a few times. Many of the Porky Gabby shorts were remade with Daffy.
Huh.
This is the first Looney Tunes film to not include Bugs Bunny in any way, shape, or form. This is Petunia's first prominent appearance in any large-scale Looney Tunes project, as usually she's only seen as a side character or background character.
Yeah.
In the movie, there were visual similarities to Independence Day, 1996. Ironically, the scene in which Will Smith's character accidentally puts the modified alien spacecraft in reverse was inspired by a Duck Dodgers short starring Daffy Duck and Porky Pig.
Funny.
Oh, wow.
Lastly, Eric Urquhart, who is a full-time employee at DreamWorks Animation, moonlighted on this movie without ever telling his bosses at DreamWorks.
Oh, wow.
This is his first hand-drawn animated film, first time working with a close-knit group of collaborators that worked on other projects, and first film project he worked on that is distributed by an indie distributor, technically. And that's all I've got for trivia. So, Paul, what is your first like for this film?
Okay, I'm going to go off with a controversial one on my first one. And
Okay.
I am actually glad they kept the bit in on the origin of Porky Pig's stutter.
Oh,
Okay.
And that's because typically it's a non-PC. It's kind of, in fact, this is one of the things that that they were asking the director. He said he was surprised that they left that in, that didn't get cut out by the censors and everything, because it is very it can be insensitive. Let's put it that way to people who stutter. I think it's a funny gag, is why I'm glad it's in there, because it harkens back to the old Looney Tune times where they didn't really have censors like that kept things like that. And so just to give you a little background, they were asking, well, what things got cut out that that you were surprised, or that he said that one with the stutter he thought was the one that was going to be cut out first. Like all the other cutouts that happened, he wasn't that surprised, but he was really surprised that one got left in, because he thought, oh, that's going out.
Yeah.
One I can't remember. There was like a double entendre when Petunia walks into the bar or to the cafe, and Daffy's talking about like cheering Porky up, but I can't remember the double entendre. But one of the things that I do remember that was edited, when Farmer Jim, towards the beginning, as he says goodbye to his boys and goes off, and then you see him appear in the clouds, you're like, oh, he died.
Yes.
Originally,
Simba. Oh, Mufasa, I mean.
Yes. Originally, and they animated this. Farmer Jim, he's walking towards the lake, and he just continues walking into the lake until he's like underneath the water, and you see bubbles come up, and then all of a sudden the bubbles stop, and they're like, no, we can't have a suicide in
my
here.
gosh.
Oh my word.
So that's why the film cuts with him, like he says goodbye to the boys and turns toward the lake, and then it fades into him in the clouds after that, because that part's cut out.
Oh
Anyway.
my gosh.
Yeah, that would have been very dark.
Yes. It's like, what would drive the man? Oh yeah, Daffy and Porky.
That is one loony duck.
Yeah, you're not kidding, but oh my gosh, that is dark.
So I enjoy the I was about to say I enjoyed, there's a lot of gags in here that I enjoyed, and that's one of them.
Jacob, what's your first like for the film?
Let's see. Give me a moment. I saw a text and I was like, wait, I have to look at that real fast. Let's see. I really enjoyed the animation in this film.
Yeah.
Like Paul said, it kind of arcs back to the original Looney Tunes shorts, and I really enjoyed that. Definitely when you get that pull and stretch kind of thing, where it's like the there I go with my stutter. Let's see, the like pull and stretch, the over exaggeration of expression, like all these little nuances of how characters are, designed. The like you said, Paul, the fact that like Daffy doesn't look like his modern self. He looks more like, the old school Daffy, which I really appreciate.
Right.
Because I thought someone was off when you said that. I was like, ooh, yeah, there we go. And again, this movie is animated beautifully.
Right.
It's got like, I thoroughly enjoy the animation. The animation's so beautiful. I mean, like, beautiful in a different way, a Looney Tune way, but definitely more. It's got more of the modern, like more modern kind of. It's arcing back to the old days of Looney Tunes, but it still holds to what like modern Looney Tunes does.
Right.
So
it's a great combo,
kind of a best of both worlds situation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I love the way it's animated too. It's not like these 2D flash type of animation. That,
this is not vectored or flash. This is very much. It really does feel like each one of these frames is hand drawn. It's hand drawn digitally,
right?
But it does feel like they are hand drawn. So
and what helps with that? It's done in. It's not. I forget the word for it. It's done organically. It's not iconic. And what I mean by iconic is like icon, like picture a bow tie. Like that could be made with like two triangles. A lot of times in these modern cartoons, kind of like Powerpuff Girls or whatever, you'd see very, very stylized.
Simplified.
Right.
Minimalistic.
This is more organic. You see like a bow tie, like in Petunia's bow, it wraps around. There's an organic wrap around. It's not just two triangles. You can see the folds and everything in it. And I love those.
It feels three-dimensional, even though it's not.
Yeah, exactly. And that makes it more organic.
My first like for this one is the fact that for a Looney Tunes cartoon, the only Looney Tunes that are in it are Daffy, Porky, and Petunia.
Yeah.
I actually really like the focus on just these three characters, because the old shorts, like that I grew up watching on ABC back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
each one of those had one, maybe two, three at the most characters.
Yeah.
From the catalog of characters. Very rarely did you see any more than three.
Right.
But you get to the modern day stuff, including stuff I do really like Space Jam, Looney Tunes Back in Action, and Space Jam: A New Legacy, and probably many others that I'm not remembering. Many other projects I'm not remembering right now.
Yeah.
Looney Tunes basketball.
Yeah, they are. They try to include as many characters in there at one time as they can.
Sure.
And a lot of these characters, while they are part of the catalog and they do well by themselves, a lot of them don't interact well with each other in terms of how the characters are supposed to work. I mean, Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner would not fit into this film at all if they had tried to do that. Bugs Bunny might have, but Bugs Bunny's got more star power in the modern day than he would overshadow this even as a cameo. But Porky Pig and Daffy Duck are the first big stars of Looney Tunes, and they've kind of been sidelined really since Bugs Bunny came out. Don't get me wrong. Love Bugs Bunny. He's a great guy. A great character. I enjoy his I probably enjoy his cartoons more than I do everybody else's.
For sure.
But on average. But seeing Porky Pig and Daffy Duck having the limelight and getting to just be themselves in this other thing, because they're the original Looney Tunes comic duo.
Right.
Granted, most of what I remember was mostly from like Duck Dodgers of the 24th and a half century, which has their relationship kind of reversed than it is here.
Yeah.
But I appreciated that we had them in this and saw their relationship as good as well, brothers, when you get right down to it.
Yeah.
One of the things that crossed my mind as a weird little connection was the movie Great Muppet Caper, where Fozzie and Kermit are quote unquote brothers, except they're actually supposed to be blood brothers.
I don't remember. I haven't seen that movie in decades, but that's weird.
Well, there's a joke running all the way through that movie. Is how do you tell the frog and the bear apart? Well, obviously the bear wears a hat.
Oh,
that's how you tell them apart.
Wow.
But that crossed my mind while I was doing it. But it's that same idea that these two brothers are closer than they probably have any right to be, since they're not actually related.
Right.
And it just reminded me of that relationship. I enjoyed seeing them both grow as characters.
Yeah.
It wasn't just this movie could very easily just been a series of gags. Don't get me wrong. It is also a series of gags.
Yeah.
But the story that they built around those gags helps solidify it into a really good story about two brothers growing apart and coming back together. I really enjoyed. And Petunia as the love interest that nearly knocked, I wouldn't say she was the reason they nearly split up, but she just,
I was about to say, don't make her the Yoko Ono.
No, she's not the Yoko Ono, but she's definitely she actually strengthens it, even though in a way she almost shouldn't, in a way, in terms of character. But
she gives Porky more purpose.
That is true.
And that is the problem. Is Porky, for the most part, his character, even from the 1930s, is very vanilla.
Yeah,
because he's literally the last of the rubber hose characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, he was one of the ones that was created solely to sell Warner Brothers could sell music back in the day. Because that's what most Looney Tunes was back in the day, was excuses to sell songs. But I may have some of that wrong, but either way, but I just enjoyed that these characters I primarily think of as the wacky guy and the stuttering guy actually were well-rounded characters that I actually, when you get to that scene where they're in the cell and they're yelling at each other, I actually feel bad for them, because it's like, y'all, I understand how y'all got to this point, but y'all need to get this make this up. And you get to the end where Porky will not leave Daffy stuck to that rock. I was like, I don't want to see them die. Granted, this is Looney Tunes, they're not going to stay dead, but I don't want to see them go through that trauma. But at the same time, Kobayashi Maru literally stuck between a rock and a hard place. So
stuck to a rock and a hard place.
Exactly. So I don't know. I loved Porky and Daffy's relationship and the fact that that was actually the focus of this film, and they just wrote the comedy around that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree.
Awesome.
What's your second like, Paul?
Okay. They did something with this movie that isn't often done, and I think they did it pretty well. They made the main villain kind of like the hero of the story. He wasn't there, the main alien invader wasn't there to take over Earth and, for his quote unquote resources. He was there to take over, to save the Earth. And it was just temporarily like take over everybody so they could chew the gum and blow it up and make a big bubble to bounce off the asteroid coming out. So I liked how they made you think, oh, this alien invasion, the big bad alien is the bad guy. And they turned it so that you could actually see, no, he's trying to save the Earth, and made him a good guy. And I liked at the end, he wasn't a bad guy. He was actually one of the good guys. And I thought they did that pretty well. I don't recall any other stories doing that well.
They did do a good job of that being a red herring throughout the first hour of the film.
Right. The first half, right.
Yeah. Well, or three quarters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
the third act.
Call it 2/3. It's the third act. Yeah.
Yeah.
They did a good job of hiding that fact so that, and at the same time, I'll agree with you, at the same time, once they finally revealed, it was like, oh, well, you obviously don't understand how to act around people. Because all of your actions were misconstrued. You could have, I don't know. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's not often done, and I thought they did this well.
Jacob, what's your second like?
My second like of this film. Oh, because I think Drew pinned on it a minute ago. It was more of the character dynamics between Daffy and Porky, because you have these two characters who be like in every iteration, they're either their best buddies, like they're always best buddies in every like iteration you can think of. But I enjoy the dynamic between the two characters because they make them more brothers, and they have their conflicts where it's you have the over exaggerated, wild, crazy, what's the word? Zany kind of character of Daffy, and you have more subdued, quiet Porky. And I love there's always these boiler points when it comes to a character's dynamic where they're gonna pop. And you can see it throughout the entire film where Porky's is you see that clock ticking where he is going to blow his lid on what Daffy is doing. And I love that point, that ratchet point where the two characters come to a head, and it's Porky lets him know, be like, hey, you're the reason for all this happening, because I can't trust you in any fashion or form. But the dynamics of the character are very unique, and I love, like, when you have two characters, they have this major conflict, and the idea of trust. You have to trust each other. Yeah. Even though it'd be like they have to learn, or at least Porky has to learn how to trust Daffy. And I find that fascinating, even though it's like, I loved it when Porky says, be like, oh yeah, Daffy can do it. And everyone's like, what? Are you crazy? Like, he's going to destroy everything. Exactly.
I like they even play back to the old audience member standing up and saying, really, him?
Yeah. And then leaves.
Yes.
We're doomed.
Okay, here is my total headcanon moment. That was David Zaslav.
I'll tell you what, that is one of in the audience watching with the animators, that got the biggest laugh when the guy stood up and laughed.
That's also a callback to a previous episode of the podcast Paul was on back during the Heron hiatus, because a similar thing happened there in that episode too, in that short we watched there.
Not the same gag, but similar, yes.
Similar, yes.
Yeah.
Check that out.
My second like for the film, I like the sci-fi B-movie nature of the setup.
Yes.
When I first heard about this, I was afraid. Well, there is a Looney Tunes cartoon, I think, from the 50s, maybe 60s. Paul may know this better than I do. It was a parody of Invasion of the Pod People or something like that. It was mostly starred Bugs Bunny, and he went around and showing his day, and the second day all the Looney Tunes are all the people he's going against are messed up because they've been captured by the pods and turned into cheap versions of themselves. Do you remember this one, Paul?
I remember that one.
The only thing that's coming up at the top is Invasion of the Bunny Snatchers, but that was 1992. They're pod people?
I want to say that's what it was.
Yeah, alien pod people have captured Daffy Duck, Yosemite Sam, and Elmer Fudd and taken their places.
That was 92.
Huh?
Okay.
You're saying that was 1992?
Yeah.
Well, that explains why it doesn't feel like one of the old shows. I just assumed it was like a retry in like the 50s and 60s after the main run had finished and some new person. Anyway, I was literally, when I first heard this, that's what came to my mind was that short.
Well, because that's very similar.
Yeah.
It's definitely Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
I do not like that short. I was so afraid they were going to do something like that short again, and I was just going to be like, well, I know why they canceled it, and let's face it, Jacob and I have already done one other rescue from the Zaslav cancellations that didn't really play well with either one of us, and that was Urkel Saves Christmas.
Oh my gosh. Did I do that?
So I was worried when I was, even though I wanted to go see it, wanted to jump in, I was worried based on all that and was pleasantly surprised. So I did not know how well the sci-fi element was going to be going into it, and good night. This is actually a pretty decent sci-fi horror story in agree. It's cartoonified, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a lot more lighthearted, but this really, last week we talked about on Night of the Zoopocalypse how it really did feel like movies such as Night of the Living Dead and things of that nature. This really does kind of feel like a old cheap B movie, cheap sci-fi B movie that you don't expect to be any good, but you kind of like despite the fact that it's kind of cheesy. But here it actually, the cheesiness works into the comedy in a way that it probably shouldn't, but yet it does.
Yeah.
To the point where my absolute favorite scene in this entire film is when the gum alien comes to life in their test container thing, and Daffy Duck says, "Gee, I hope that shatterproof glass will hold up." And the Petunia gives this quick glance, like, well, technically shatterproof glass should be is able to hold up to all this many pounds of pressure. And they sigh relief, and then she goes, "But that isn't shatterproof glass." When the jar just bursts open as the monster attacks it. That to me is the funniest scene in the whole movie. To me anyway, it's my favorite one. Yeah, and it worked. On one hand, it's funny. On the other hand, it kind of does send chills down your spine. It's like, oh yeah, they're in trouble. They're gonna have. It's almost slapsticky, but not in a slapsticky that makes it cheap. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just done so well. It's good balance of the comedy, cheesy sci-fi, and actually telling a good story that comes together, and all in a 2D animated film in the year 2025. That's crazy.
Very true.
Because we've almost given up on 2D films at this point in America.
Hey, I heard Disney's going back to 2D. I hope that's true.
I
hope too.
I hope they have good writing. Because from what I understand, because there's a lot of, admittedly, I haven't watched a lot of the recent Disney stuff, and the writing is the reason I'm iffy on it.
That's fair.
But yeah, I just love that this was a good balance of this is what I want modern cartoons to be, something that is well animated, well written, and in the case of this one, since it is meant to be a kids film primarily, it's good for the whole family. It's not talking down to any member of the audience. So yeah, I love the presentation. You get right down to it. I love the presentation of this film. That's my second like.
So before we move forward with our dislikes, there's a particular scene. Well, there's two scenes actually. There's the scene where Daffy and Porky they're trying to debate how in the world are we going to pay for our roof, and one of the lines that Daffy says made me laugh out loud. It's like, yeah, we can always wait for another stimulus check. I was like, oh my god,
that's gonna date the film.
That's gonna date it. And
or is it? We'll see.
Give it time.
Yeah, give it time. Let's see if that'll date it. But the other one was where they reintroduced the asteroid, which you completely forget about.
Yeah.
I mean, within 15 minutes because all the zinnias and the heavy plot going on. And my first thought is like, okay, they're gonna go take out the asteroid, and the first thing pops in my head is,
I don't want to close.
That would have been funny with all the other licensed music they use in this very well.
That was playing through my head. I was like, oh, come on, Aerosmith, please. That just cracked me up. I was like, oh yeah, they're pulling a Bruce Willis. They're going to destroy this asteroid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we do need to talk about the things we disliked about this film. So Paul, what is one of the things you disliked?
One of the things that I disliked is kind of what you mentioned on your previous is that this movie does get a little bit scary for a Looney Tunes movie or Looney Tunes show. Some of the gum monsters and some of the creatures can be a little grotesque. It is still within the style of Looney Tunes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But what I like about the old classic Looney Tunes from the 30s, 40s, 50s, and so is that a 5-year-old, you can sit down and watch this with a 5-year-old. I would not recommend a 5-year-old watching this just because I feel some of the imagery is a little too scary and it can be a little too intense.
I can see how this would make kids not want to eat bubble gum.
Yeah. So for me, it's because is it good for all ages? I would say most. The younger kids, it's not. And that's what I didn't like about this film. I thought they leaned a little too into the too grotesque, kind of like with eyeballs and gooey stuff, creatures coming out.
Jacob.
For me.
That's fair. I think this movie runs at 91 minutes. So it's a bit over an hour, so it's like an hour 10. Hour 15, but to me personally, I think it runs a little too long. Yeah, there's so many plots going on the exact same time that be like it's not hard to follow, but at the same time there's so much going on. Be it like you have asteroid, you have the alien invasion, you have the what are Porky and Daffy going to do with their house, zombies, like all these different plot threads are going on at the exact same time. They're good, don't get me wrong, but I think they could have trimmed the fat a little bit on this movie, made it a little bit shorter, and make it just a little above like 61 minutes. 61 minutes. not 91 minutes. Shorten it by a little bit. Trim it down a little bit. But I mean, like I enjoyed it a little bit. It was maybe a little too long because by the third act, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm okay. This is where they're going. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I got disengaged with the film, and I was like, okay, where in the world could they trim this down just a little bit to make it more engaging? And I think for me personally, I think it's a bit too long of a film. It'd be like, I honestly I can't think of anywhere they could trim the fat to make it just to trim the story down, but I think it's a little too long because you get in that third act and then I'll be like, oh, okay, this is where we're going. Now you got me disengaged.
Oh, interesting. I thought they could have trimmed the fat much earlier in the film, like the whole factory. I know some people that I talked to, they love the factory scene that's done in a different style where they jump through
that was
gears and everything, but that doesn't add anything to the story, so I'd cut that out.
So on that note, my first dislike, since it's right what you're saying right there, there are two moments in this film where it cuts away for what I would call a fourth wall.
Oh, by the way, I love most of the fourth wall gags. Oh, I do,
but there's two of them that the fourth wall gag just brings the whole thing to a screeching halt.
Oh, okay.
And the first one I'm going to talk about is the one that y'all brought up, or that Paul brought up, the factory one in the different style, because I love the fact that they use Powerhouse from the old cartoons. I enjoy that part, but they don't. I feel like that could have been handled differently, where it would still be, you could still do something funny with that. But for the most part, it's just like, here's a quick artistic montage that kind of allows us to do something different that really doesn't fit the rest of the film. Right. It's more like it feels like it's a cartoon, an animation demo from another project that they slid in here. I don't know a better way to put it than that. The other part, for the most part, I actually like the what I'm going to call the Looney Tunes cartoon at the beginning, where they're trying to fix the roof, and they're doing the different things and getting fired. For the most part, that's fine. But there's one joke in there that I'm like, I didn't need that. I really did not need that, and that is Daffy Duck twerking.
Oh God!
That got the second biggest laugh, by the way.
I can to a degree. I understand that.
Yeah, and it's only like 3 or 4 seconds. But
but at the same time, I'm going, I don't need a bubble butt Daffy.
No.
And to me, I just like, if you are going to trim jokes, things like that don't really add to the whole thing or the other part, I can see that. I have another one I'm going to bring up in my second dislike, but where a possibility to trim it that may be connected to what Jacob was saying. But Paul, what's your second dislike?
Well, first of all, I agree with Jacob. I think it does run a little too long, and when you find out that it's directed by a person who's normally directing animated shorts, you can see how, he's thinking, how do we fit stuff in to make this a feature length rather than a short? This
does to a degree feel like 30 shorts that happen to start and stop in sequence.
Yeah. And Retro Rewind Pod, if you're still watching it, there is a full story in these clips. It's not just randomly.
It's just the way it's paced.
Yes. But my second dislike is there were a few instances where the term nerd was used, but it was used in a negative connotation. And I don't mind people using nerd, like, oh yeah, we got ourselves a nerd, and if you identify as a nerd, that's great. But
I'm a geek.
When you're talking, or a geek, but even the word geek, if you're using it as a negative way to put someone down, like, oh, don't listen to her, she's a nerd, kind of a thing, it really bothers me. So it's maybe I'm a little too attached to that. I don't know.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Paul, but in the cases where they were using nerd as a derogatory term, for the most part, that was the people making fun of Petunia, right?
Right.
I mean, there's one instance where Daffy calls her a nerd, but it's almost like pumping her up. It's like, yeah, you're a nerd. He stutters and I'm loony. Who cares?
Right, but even in that, he's using that as in a negative connotation. He's saying all these things like, all right, we each of us have our negative qualities, but who cares? We can use that to our. So I don't like having the term nerd used in a negative way.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That is fair.
Jacob.
So my second and final dislike of this film, like I said before, the third act, because you had this nice wrap up of this film, and then they do that twist. They do that plot twist. And it's like, aha, the villain isn't the villain. He's actually trying to save us. And at that point, I'm like, okay, I saw this coming.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay. I watched it for the second time, and because it had been a while, I completely forgot. So.
Yeah, I think with doing reviews like this for 6.5 years, be like you start seeing stuff. Thank you, Drew.
Right.
I have introduced you to stuff you wouldn't normally have watched.
Yeah, normally I wouldn't.
I'm the same with you. So
right.
It's not really introducing me things that I don't normally see, but it's normal like paying more attention to what's going on in the plot. Be like, what are they setting up? What's going on here? What's going on here? Because it gives you clues of what's going on. And I was like, oh, okay. Be like, by the time they got to the climax of the second act, or heck, it's the third act, but then the asteroid scene, they reintroduce the asteroid. Okay, it's almost like it's a fourth act. It's the fourth small act, and I think like, yes, I love that they brought the asteroid back into the fold of the episode. I do enjoy that. At the same time, it's more like, okay. Because at that point, I tuned out almost. I was like, okay, watch the end of it. Okay, I'm already bored with this movie. But it was just something about it I did not like.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's fun. Be like I think it's the pace slowed down so much. Is because you have to get down to the asteroid, they pull up Bruce Willis, and crawl through this stuff and all the gags and goops and everything they do, and it's exactly like Armageddon. Be like they set the trap, but then the monsters didn't go off, and they had to pull straws, and they're like, oh yeah, I'll do it. No, I'll do it. And it's like, oh yeah, let him do it. I'm like, you're ripping off Armageddon. Come on. But I think that fourth act, as I'm going to call it, the fourth act was a little bit of okay, like I think like Paul said, it was more let's put these this string of situations together to make it a full-length film. And I think that was the back end of that tether was the let's destroy the asteroid. At the same time, I'm thinking like, how close is the asteroid to the planet? Be like, even if you blow it up, it's still gonna create chaos. But there again, Looney Tune logic, so you really can't.
Yeah. If Daffy Duck can lay an egg, then anything is possible.
Daffy laying eggs.
Do you know how hard it is for a male duck to lay eggs?
That was going to be my dislike until they used it as a joke to pay off later. But
oh my gosh. When I heard that, I was like, wait, male ducks don't lay eggs, as far as I understand.
Yeah. That's not how it
Am
works.
I right? Am I wrong?
Male ducks do. Right. That is not how the foul
I'm aware.
reproduction system works.
I'm aware of that. I'm like, am I not clued into something that is natural or what?
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways. Oh my gosh, that was that fourth act. Be like I absolutely love the point where you have Petunia and Porky are going out and just wrecking shop on these aliens, and then of course Daffy comes in and screws everything up like usual. But you get to the very end and it's like, okay, movies, no, it's not over. Oh no, we gotta deal with the asteroid. Great.
I think Jacob was done before the movie was.
Yeah, I was literally done with this film by the end of the third act. I was done.
In Jacob's defense, my second dislike is the fact that the asteroid segment is even in the film to begin with.
Oh, interesting.
Because here's the thing. As much as there are scenes during the asteroid segment that I do like and I do find funny, don't get me wrong. If you're talking about the full story, and grant this is a very big nitpick. I'm just going to be honest. I'm picking a very big nit.
And I was about to say, your dislike is one of my likes, because I liked that the asteroid thing was actually the villain,
right? But
just like my dislike was your like.
But
anyway,
when I'm looking at the story as a whole, you could take from Daffy and Porky growing up on the farm to them popping the bubble at the end. You could take that part of the story, you could cut everything else that's on either side of those points out of the film, and you would have a complete story.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part that's what makes, I think, that feel superfluous to Jacob, is for the most part, with the exception of we show the asteroid at the beginning. The asteroid's not in the film until the very end. Right. It very easily, and I don't know if this is how they wrote it. It could be, because I know you don't write things a lot of times in order. Sometimes you realize, oh, you got to do this thing, but you got to talk about it ahead of time, so you pop it back here.
Yeah,
I'm not in frame. You pop it back here, and it really does feel like they thought, oh, we need to have this moment where Daffy has to sacrifice himself for Porky. We need to have Daffy have his moment, which honestly, I like Daffy's moment. I like the fact that he's the one that can save the day at the end. It's a good moment. Yeah. But it felt like we needed that. We need a way to do that. We can't fit it into anything else we've made up to this point. Let's introduce something and have this little plot twist where actually the invader's not a bad guy. He's actually a good guy. And bear in mind, there are aspects of this I do like. I keep saying that because it feels like I'm bashing something that I actually do like to a degree. It's just this movie, if you're going to be efficient about it, if you're going to just worry about one story, if you're going to make this feel like, because the problem is this does feel like 1.5 films to me. Okay. It's 1.5 stories, because you've got all of this with the alien invasion, which is one story, one very good story, the way they handle it. And then you get to the end, and like Jacob said, you're going, wait, the movie's not done? Oh yeah, there was an asteroid that we haven't talked about since the movie started. Oh yeah, we got to take care of that now. It just feels superfluous. So I think and like I said, this is a very, very big nit. I'm happy most of these scenes are there. It's just if I'm looking for things I dislike,
right,
I think you could have had a good, tight story with just Porky and Daffy moving in with Farmer Jim to them popping the bubble. Maybe have one epilogue scene similar to what we get at the actual end of the film.
That would have been interesting.
And just and all the stuff with the asteroid just leave out. If you want, you could have maybe an asteroid be coming up on them as kind of a dark ending at the end of it. But
then I think them popping
that wouldn't
the
be
bubble,
I wouldn't like that either. So
exactly, if you have the popping of the bubble be the climax, it's kind of anticlimactic.
And it still doesn't explain why the alien is wanting the bubble in the first place.
Right.
So yeah, it's like on one hand, I like the expanded story because it does explain all that, but at the same time, it does go long it does seem like it got to a stopping point and then restarted with this other story that came after it. So yeah, like I said, very big nit. I still wouldn't edit it right now if I was given the chance to, because I honestly don't know how I would make a lot of that work. And I think it fits just fine the way it is. But because I have to look for things I don't like about the film. That's one thing that is an issue that maybe needed another pass in the scripting phase to make it flow a little bit better. So
Fair. I can get behind that.
So now we need to rate this film.
So before we do that, I had one thought to come to mind. So you have this very yeah. you have the moment where Daffy's willing to sacrifice himself, and he's got himself stuck to the rock with the purple gum, right?
Yeah.
So as far as we understand, the gum is highly explosive, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So the fact that Daffy has now got himself strapped to this rock on the asteroid, and Porky is willing to stay with his friend, his brother, and they are able to escape from velocity from this one little rock.
Yes.
Landing on the Earth.
Yes.
Where they're not pancaked, which I thought would have been funnier if the pancakes just pop up because they're Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
But they didn't explode themselves because the gum didn't blow up.
Right. Looney Tune logic.
Looney Tune
logic.
is Looney Tune.
It's like
it's
everything
Looney
else is
Tune
blowing
logic,
up, but they're not blowing up.
And also, as if you're going to call this a plot hole, you've got the fact that in order for that gum to be sticky enough to hold Daffy to the rock, it technically has to have already been chewed, and it is ABC gum because the rocks chewed the gum.
Right.
That is true. That was also a weird plot.
So why didn't it blow up when everything else blew up? At the same time, this is the kind of movie that can get away with, well, the plot needed it to happen, and and for the most part, you're fine with it.
Right.
Right.
That's a bigger plot hole that I was thinking, because I was thinking, oh, Petunia wants to use this for her new gum, but
where's she going to get more of these asteroid crystals?
Right, exactly. There's a very small amount of asteroid crystals. There's only a small amount of your ingredients, Petunia, so this
is going to be a very limited edition release.
Exactly.
Unless you can simulate it.
Yeah.
Looney Tunes logic. I'm sure she can get some weird sample of it, put it in a machine that she created.
Quadrant B and get some asteroid rocks.
Spoiler alert: it's actually a piece of Krypton.
Oh. And then Superman comes to Earth and
dies.
Is a normal human being because everyone around is chewing kryptonite gum.
Exactly.
Kryptonite gum.
Exactly. And there's still bubble gum floating through the air because they never bothered to clean it up. So yeah, we do need to rate this film. Paul, what are you rating the film?
I rated it 6.7, which I thought was very interesting when you gave the IMDb rating of 6.8, which was just a little bit higher than mine. I like it.
So quick thing, we do round to the nearest 0.5.
Okay, then 6.5.
Okay.
Because it's not 6.75.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So then it would be 6.5. Sorry, Francisco. I know Francisco would have something to say about your point numbers there, but I forget the point number he would use.
He would say 3.5.
All right.
Yeah, he would say 3.5.
But then everything is 3.5.
Yes.
Anyway, I like it. It's not something that I would necessarily recommend to everybody because it's very nuanced, but it is something like I said earlier, like you said, Drew, I unexpectedly found that I enjoyed it more the second time, and I probably would on subsequent viewings. I can see this being one of these that I have playing on the background while I'm doing something else, like drawing or something, just have it in the background for fun. So yeah, overall, I liked it, but 6.5.
Jacob?
I'm giving it a 6. There are aspects and like everything about this film. There are things I really enjoy. There's the runtime's a little long. There's too much going on. Maybe they need to trim this. But I can see where both of you had good points. Where it does have little issues here or there. It's good. So giving it a 6 isn't a bad thing. It does have its merits. It's good. It's not one of these films that I don't see myself watching in the next couple of months. But it's like, oh, okay, something silly. Throw it on the background while I'm working on something.
Yeah,
kind of the only Paul said.
Yeah.
So I like the film a little bit better than both of y'all.
I could tell.
Because I am going to actually rate it a 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
To me, while this is not a movie I might throw in like regularly in the background when I'm working on something. If say in the next 6 months someone said, "Hey, we ought to watch the Looney Tunes, how the Earth blew up," I was like, "Sure, I'm down for that." It's a good fun film. There's I get kind of engrossed in the sci-fi-ness and the cheesy B-moviness of it to the point where I kind of enjoy it on that level, maybe a little bit more than y'all do. But like I said, every time I watch this film, it's like I enjoy it more. Like in each subsequent viewing, I am curious if that would hold up. Though I can probably tell you, a bit left to my own devices, probably won't watch this movie again for another year, just because you don't want to overwatch anything you enjoy. You get right down to it. So
I'll be like, I'll disagree with you on that, Drew. Be like, there are things that, like certain movies for me, be like I can watch over and over and over again and still have an enjoyment over.
Oh, there's that for me too, but I still have to put some gap in there. I've watched Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country more times than I can count, but I haven't watched it more than like twice a year at most in a row. So, but yeah, I enjoy the film. I think everyone should give it a try, especially if you like classic Looney Tunes. And if you like classic cheesy movies, I think you'll enjoy it for that also. And if you like Looney Tunes, I think you'll enjoy it as well. So, yeah. So that's our ratings for The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes film. Hopefully within the next year, we will be able to the three of us might be able to come back together for Coyote versus Acme, maybe?
Oh, I'm down for that.
Yes.
Sometime in the next year.
And this time watching it in theaters.
I will let you, we will plan that one way or another. So next week is Jacob's pick.
Ooh.
So, and Jacob's picked something very special for us to watch next week.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you tell us about that, Jacob?
That would be I
should have gave him more warning. I was going to do that.
No. You're good. No. The mouth. You gave me no warning. What kind of podcast are you? Give me no warning.
A live one.
No.
Go.
No, we are doing a animated short that came out in the early 90s that Disney has disowned in a lot of ways because it was too adult. It was too odd, and like you put your main character in not the best light in the world. And
is that Runaway Brain?
Huh?
Is it Runaway Brain?
It's
you
Runaway
called
Brain.
it.
Yeah, you called it. Because I heard about this maybe like a year ago, and I saw someone do a review of it. I'm like, what? Or I think I saw a trailer for it, or a glimpse of it back in the 90s.
I saw I know who it was. I saw, I think, Nostalgia Critic review this on his on his channel once. That's how I know about it.
I saw it someone else.
Yeah.
But it was just, because it was like a full-on documentary about this thing. It was incredible. I'll find it again. But this was something I was like, wait a minute, because I remember I put something else in there. I think it was like a horror anime.
It was something I hadn't heard of, so
yeah.
So you guys didn't watch A Kid in King Arthur's Court in theaters and watch this in front of it?
I hate to tell you this, Paul. I didn't have a movie theater in my hometown.
Oh.
So I rarely got to go to the movie theater unless it was special, and A Kid in King Arthur's Court was not going to be that movie.
No, that's not. Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
So yeah,
okay, that's where I saw it. Anyway.
Yeah, so we were watching Runaway Brain.
Nice. That's a great one. I love that. I don't love it.
Which is the only place you can find it is on YouTube.
Exactly.
It's not on Disney
for now.
For now.
It's sitting in the Disney vault right next to Song of the South.
Yeah, which we reviewed.
Which we have reviewed, yes. So yeah, join us next week for that. We're gonna go do our intermission right quick, and on the other side of that, we're gonna be starting something new because we are taking a break from Batman. So join us after the break for our first reviews of Outlaw Star.
Intermission.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box. Whether you enjoy geeky reviews, comedy, or original fiction, you can open up the Culture Box and find something excellent for your soul. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
This week, we suggest checking out the Retro Rewind podcast. Woohoo! Every other week, you can join the Retro Rewind pod as they travel back 15 or more years along the entertainment space-time continuum in their mission to review movies, games, and that's all, establishing what is so worth your time today. You can expect fun banter and trivial insights from Francisco, PaulJPowers.com, and a rotating cadre of guest hosts who are all out of time. The Cellcast would also like to thank the following patrons: Book of Gaming, The Monster Island Film Vault, Edwin Gonzalez, and PaulJPowers.com, who is here with us tonight. No, this was not his $5 his patron pick, because he's not paid for a patron pick yet. If you would like to have your name shouted out on the show, some special art from Jacob, and uncut episodes, you can donate to us at the $5 level over on Patreon. Or for an additional $5, you can force us to watch something within reason. We do reserve the right to say no. But you can join us on that episode if you so desire. Unfortunately, all our 2025 slots are filled, but 2026 is open and available for sale. So we have 4 slots available for that. So go donate to us at the $10 level on Patreon if you wish to do so.
Can I buy all of 2026? Is that possible?
I think Nate Marchand might fight you over that.
Fair enough. We'll kaiju battle over it.
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
Also, go to our merch store over on Redbubble to buy t-shirts and stickers and all that kind of stuff. We will update with new artworks soon because I need to do that. And join Jacob when he gets back to doing his Like an Artist streams for streaming art. Keep your ears open for when he starts that back up, and then join me on Tuesday nights as I'm playing Dragon Quest III over on the same places you stream our show normally, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, all that kind of good stuff. Just get completely tongue-tied in the middle of that, Drew. Why don't I?
Makes it more interesting. You never know what you're going to say next.
Exactly. So I haven't played this for anybody yet, which is our new intro for Outlaw Star. I didn't do much work. I literally just recorded something off YouTube, but...
Welcome to the future. Transferring to autopilot mode. A place where good guys finish last.
I'll make them wish they'd never been born.
A quick draw is the best defense.
Nothing personal, but I'm here to kill you.
And your wits are all you can count on. A future where one treasure is coveted above all else.
Tell me the coordinates of the galactic ley line.
Legend speaks of the galactic ley line, offering the ultimate power of the universe to those who seek its glory.
The doors have opened.
Utilizing the latest technology, a living starship has been built with the power to find the galactic ley line.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All systems green.
By twist of fate, it has fallen into the hands of an outlaw. An outlaw named Gene Starwind.
Well, let's blow some hot kisses to my devoted fans.
His luck is about to change. Goodbye, Gene. Together with his crew of bounty hunters, he'll take to the stars.
Accelerate and fly down their throats.
Outlaw Star. Weekdays at 5:30. Time to roll the dice. Only Toonami.
One wild guess where I got that from.
Oh, Toonami.
Dang it, you took my guess.
Oh, wow.
Which is odd because I didn't watch this on Toonami back in the day.
Wow.
I saw it on
neither.
Adult Swim.
Oh, okay.
So, future retro next generation Outlaw Star is what we're covering now. It is a 26 episode anime adaptation of the manga Outlaw Star by Takahito Itoi. It tells the story of would-be outlaw Gene Starwind and his partner Jim Hawking as they pursue and their pursuits to become rich and famous when they come into possession of a state-of-the-art grappler ship. It is animated by Sunrise Studios and broadcast in Japan on TV Tokyo in 1998 and was localized in America by Bandai Entertainment and aired originally on Cartoon Network's Tsunami Block in 2001 and Adult Swim in 2002. Jump ahead here. It was the show was directed by Mitsuru Hongo, whose previous credits include the comedy Crayon Shin-Chan and the Magical Girls series Shamanic Princess. Shamanic, whatever. Shaman, whatever.
Shaman-ic.
It's a magical girl either way, so she's going to be cute. The script was chiefly written by Katsuhiko Chiba, who wrote about 3/4 of the episodes. Character designs were handled by Hiroyuki Haitaike and Takyu Saito. The show's vehicles were designed by Junya Ishikagi of Macross and Gundam fame. He also designed, and Shoji Kawamori designed the Outlaw Star ship itself, which was not in any of these episodes that we watched tonight. For tonight, the opening theme is "Through the Night," written and performed by Masahiko Aramachi, and the first closing theme is "Hiro no Tsuki" or "Daylight Moon," written and performed by Akino Arai. And the second closing theme is Tsuki no Lee, or House of the Moon, also written and performed by Akino Arai. The score for this show was composed by Kao Atani, who wrote the score for Gundam Wing, Shadow of the Colossus, the Heisei Gamera trilogy, and Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters, All Out Attack. So you're welcome, Marchand, for me mentioning all that.
Yeah, Marchand would be proud.
For its broadcast on Toonami, it was edited for censorship, profanity was removed, scenes with violence and perverse behavior were toned down, and scenes with nudity were altered to insert clothing. And episode 23, Hot Springs Planet Tenrei, did not air due to nudity and suggestive themes until 2018 in America.
They reanimated with clothing those scenes, you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
We are watching the unedited version. That's the only version you can get now.
Yeah.
As stated, Outlaw Star aired on the Cartoon Network's late night Adult Swim block through 2002. However, the broadcast was canceled late in the year. According to Sean Atkins, Toonami's creative director, the network allowed its rights to the anime to expire in 2003 before it was released on DVD in America on the Perfect Collection in 2002 and re-released in 2006, and its Blu-ray was released here in America by Funimation in 2014. So here's my, before I get into the episode, I do want to mention that this was my Evangelion.
In what way?
Because this was
this
was the first anime where I wasn't watching it like it was a cartoon. I actually watched it. This is the one that convinced me that anime could be a serious, or even cartoons could be a serious storytelling thing. It wasn't just all about serious storytelling. It wasn't all just jokes and such. So
was this when you first saw it on Adult Swim?
Right. Okay. Because admittedly, I didn't watch Cowboy Bebop when it aired because it aired at a time where I couldn't get around to watching it.
Fair.
But every other anime I had watched on Toonami, like Dragon Ball Z, Card Captors.
Well, the problem is you're watching Toonami. That's
Sailor Moon. I watched
them like Akira, Ninja Scroll, and all those.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Hey, I was lucky. I was lucky to even get that anime, if we're being honest, because this was.
Oh, no, trust me, I was there in the '90s and early 2000s.
Yeah.
Anime was hard to come by. Yeah.
And Toonami was the easiest place to watch anything anime, and they actually acted like that was a good thing that it was from Japan.
Yeah,
so
I had to go to special video rental stores to get the VHSs of certain ones.
Right.
In order to watch
Oh
them.
my gosh. And how much those cost like back in the day?
Oh yeah.
It was like what was it, like $29.99? You only got
and you got like
episodes?
3 or 4 episodes if you were lucky.
Yeah.
If you were lucky, it might be 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy thing, that's still how they release anime in Japan on DVD and Blu-ray.
It's expensive. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So
that's why they're able to create more, and in the US we're struggling with
well, yeah, but they also probably pay their people less than we pay ours.
That is true, they do.
So when I say that this was the first anime that really opened my eyes to the idea that this, as much as I say nowadays all the time that, you know, cartoons aren't just for kids and they don't have to just be comedy. There was a point in time where I thought I was going to eventually grow out of cartoons. And it was before I started watching Outlaw Star. So there are other things I enjoyed at the time, but this is the first thing that made me go, oh, this actually can be something that an adult can actually enjoy. So that's when I say this was my Evangelion, it's what opened my eyes to this as an art form in the way that Evangelion did for most people.
Okay, that's
from our age, because Dragon Ball didn't do that. Sorry.
Right.
So, episode 1, Outlaw World. The original Japanese air date was January 8th, 1998, and the original English air date was January 15th, 2001. Written by Katsuhiko Chiba and directed by Takeshi Ashizawa. In this episode, a woman being pursued in space by unknown assailants. Outmatched and outnumbered, the woman activates her ship Horus's sub-ether drive, successfully escaping from the attackers. Meanwhile, Gene Starwind is living on the planet Sentinel-3 with his friend Jim Hawking. And let's face it, I think he's pretty much the guardian of Jim Hawking for most of this. She meets him on the
reverse. Here's the question: be like, is it really Gene is the guardian of? I would think it's the reverse because Jim is always trying to look after.
They look after each other.
They look after each other because they have a very brotherly relationship.
Agreed.
But I will admit, in a lot of cases, while Gene may be the legal guardian, Jim is probably the actual guardian. But anyway, the woman disguises herself as I lost it on here. Sorry. That's what I get for looking away from my screen. She disguises herself as a woman named Rachel Sweet and hires Gene and Jim to get her some supplies and for Gene to be her bodyguard. On the way out there, they get attacked by these Chinese Taoist pirates who chase them all the way out to where her ship is, where they find a giant suitcase with a young girl sleeping in it.
Firefly.
This predates Firefly.
Oh, I'm aware.
Not by much.
Not by much.
I'm fairly certain they have inspiration from the same place.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So English cast for this, we've got Bob Buchholz as Gene Starwind, Brienne Brosey as Jim Hawking, Mary Elizabeth McGlynn as Hot Ice Hilda, Steve McGowan as Clyde the bartender, Rebecca Forstadt as Iris the waitress, Wendy Lee as Soy Lin the little girl pirate, Simon Prescott as Roy Fong the old man pirate, and Gavin Glennon as Death Rob, the guy who attacks Gene in the beginning.
Yeah, that turns out to be a cyborg guy.
Yeah. In the trivia for this one, the footage used in the opening scene is reused from the unaired pilot episode, recontextualized to be a battle set in the future. Gene is shown wearing the pilot's early design for the Grappler Combat System headset, making its only appearance in the series proper here. During his fight with Death Rob, Gene is shown wearing a long sleeve version of his outfit under his coat. This version of his outfit only appears in this episode, although Gene is shown with long sleeves anytime he removes his coat. In the English dub, Jim refers to their business as Starwind and Hawking Repairs. Later episodes have the business referred to as Starwind and Hawking Enterprises. When Jim performs a background check on Rachel using his PDA, several lines of information can be seen, including biological information such as height, weight, blood type, and birth dates. Rachel's birth date is of June 7th, 1988, is the same month and year as Takahito Itoi's manga Future Retro Hero Story, the prequel to this show, when it aired during serialization, or when it was published for serialization.
Yes.
The K pirates being Soylin, Roy Fong, and Gugaku.
I didn't know they were Korean.
Gugaku was the one who died in this one. That attack the group are not named in the anime or credits, and instead only referred to by the non-specific names Girl and Old Man. They, however, are referred to by name in the Outlaw Star manga.
You called them K-Pirates?
K-Pirates. Kei.
Oh, I thought you meant like K-pop group, like they were Korean pirates.
Yeah, they fight demons.
Oh, okay.
I'm kidding.
Wouldn't that be? I was about to say, wouldn't that be Kai pirate? Anyway,
Kei. I don't know how else you're going to pronounce that.
Anyway,
except key is normally Ki.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, never mind.
So I don't know. I'm guessing K because that fits. So, what are y'all's thoughts on this episode? Start with Paul.
Yes.
This was actually my first time watching this series. I borrowed the Blu-ray from a friend, and I actually watched the subbed version, so Japanese language, and read the English title.
Fair enough.
I found it a bit confused. I don't know. You guys watch the English dub?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. In the Japanese, the main guy, it's confusing because at first they're calling him Aniki, Aniki, and then later they call him Gene, and they keep going back and forth between Aniki and Gene. Apparently, I looked it up. Aniki is just a nickname. Are they calling him other names in the?
No, they just call him Gene every time.
Yes,
that would be
Gene.
so much more helpful. But anyway.
No, they call him Gene and the other Jim. Although I think in some cases later in the show, Jim will be called James. But
okay, because he's
that's
grown
true.
up.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting. I could definitely tell like this was a precursor to Cowboy Bebop, kind of probably inspired that, the whole space outlaw.
Around the same time.
Yeah, it was at the same time?
Yeah, it was about the same time. In fact, my Blu-ray at least started off with a trailer for Cowboy Bebop.
Well, I can see why. It's definitely in the same genre. And it definitely has that time period animation, which I don't mind. I thought it was interesting. Kind of like 2/3 of the first episode is all just like Gene and Jim like getting to know them, and then the real story doesn't pick up till like I feel like the last 5 to 10, like the last back third. And actually I thought this, for a serialized cartoon, which is something that I wasn't used to at least back in the 90s when this came out, I thought this was a good way to really get to know the characters before like the whole venture gets to take off.
I can say when I watched it, because I watched a lot of these episodes as I could, so not in order. And for whatever reason, I think I only saw these first couple episodes once, and it was after I had watched most of the rest of the show.
Oh wow!
So, and I still haven't, and I hadn't seen the ending yet, but
that was often the case back then. Like I remember, like they would do that with the Disney Afternoon. If you missed like the first episode of Darkwing Duck, where his origin story, eventually they would go back and you would see it again. And so then we were used to watching stories out of order and going back and finding like, oh, how did this all begin, kind of a thing. So it's not that today. I don't know if people like. I don't know if kids
nowadays I don't think people would be able to do that because they.
No.
I was doing some. I was on Reddit, scary place to go, by the way. And looking at what because I was just curious what people's thoughts are, and like most of the complaints were the fact that midway, most of the show is kind of episodic. So there's serialization, but you can watch the episodes really in any order after like after certain parts.
Okay.
And they were complaining, it's like, yeah, there's so much filler in this show. Only the beginning and the ending are work together. And like
a lot of anime is like that.
It's like that's anime. I mean, Evangelion does the same thing.
Yeah. I've heard that same complaint about several different anime series. Yeah.
Jacob, what are your thoughts?
I really enjoyed it because I think this is. I wouldn't say it was one of the first anime I ever watched. I like Drew, like you said, be like it takes itself serious, kind of like Cowboy Bebop, because that was one of the first ones I really geared into, because it does deal with like characters really struggling with things. Because if you go to like the cartoons of our era from the 80s, 90s, it was a lot of characters who may be in situations, but they really didn't have to struggle with anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy when it gets that grittiness and realness of character. It's like I think it's in this first episode where Gene and Jim they're fixing breakfast in the whole bit, and it's not like they're fixing a gourmet meal or something like that. They're just like toast and eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And just something simple, something very simple, very plain. It's not like a Trigun where he's running around, gobbling donuts up for giggles and everything. But again, I love Trigun.
I love Trigun also.
Yeah, I think
this fits somewhere between Trigun and Cowboy Bebop.
Yes, I agree. It's kind of in that same flavor away.
Mm-hmm.
It has this air of realism, and it has a bit of silliness to it, but it kind of keeps it grounded in more like this realistic. These are real people. These are people dealing with real situations. You're dealing with Gene, who is very much a glory seeker. He wants glory and fame for everything as he goes on in the series, and he like, you see his errors, you see his like they get the reward for the guy who's out for Gene.
Mm-hmm.
And what does Gene do? Of course, be like, he's a guy, and he does the worldly thing, and be like, it just shows like the humanity of, or the more the humanity of what these people are. It's not they're like a hyper fixated a fantasy style of a character or a person. It's actually grounded in something. It's not just like, oh, fantasy, la 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 la. I just find that very unique about Outlaw Star, and the fact to be like, we're not like automatically introduced to everybody in the episode. It takes time introducing
Mm-hmm.
characters, and now granted, when you get to the Catal, be like, okay, everything's off. Be like, now everything's just goofy, because that's what is her name? I forgot. The Catal. I can't remember what her name is, but wild crazy cat woman.
I know who you're talking about, the cat girl.
Yeah, I think is she in
literally
this
it's the
episode?
next she's introduced, I think, in the next episode.
I
don't know who you're talking about. Of course, I watched the Japanese version, so
right. I'm trying to look up the name right now.
Yeah, but either or, I enjoy stories like this where it's
Aisha Clan.
Aisha Clan. Yeah, that's it. Crazy cat.
Crazy cat lady.
Yeah,
crazy cat lady. Literally, crazy cat lady. I enjoy the realism of the characters. I enjoy where it's they're trying to make it day by day, and Jim is very savvy about these things, even just being a little 11-year-old kid, where he's more like, oh, we need to get more jobs, even if they're not the big jobs. We need to get jobs where we can pay for stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
Gene is just more like, be like, it's not the big gig or anything. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
So it's be like, you can see their dynamic is so different. Everything where Jim is realistic and Gene's all about the stars, literally and figuratively.
Right.
So I really, really enjoy this episode and the next episode. So there we go.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I watched a lot of these episodes originally out of order. So I remember when I first watched this way back in the day, it took me a while to realize, oh, this is episode 1, because all I knew was it was called Outlaw World, and it felt like a weird flashback at the time. I did enjoy this episode. We're meeting our main cast. I know Hilda doesn't stick around for very long, but I do like her in this episode.
Yeah.
And because she kind of puts Gene in his place a lot, especially this episode and then the next one. But yeah, very much, we're still in the early bits of it. We're not even on the ship yet. I
didn't realize. I thought the ship that we saw, that what's her name was flying.
Yeah,
was
and the next
ship.
one, no, that's Horace. But the Outlaw Star doesn't show up until maybe the next episode,
3 or 4,
I think. I don't remember.
That's another thing that probably influenced Firefly, naming the show after the ship.
Yeah, but Yeah, I really do enjoy. I enjoy the show. This is a very good opening, I think, for the episode, for the show. And I absolutely love the intro to this one because it's just got that good '90s era, like rock flair to it that you do not find in stuff anymore. Yeah. So, or at least it's of its age, I'll say.
Yeah.
So,
and it's done well. It's one of the better ones.
Yeah. Also, love the artwork in the ending.
I was about
credits.
to ask, what is the deal with that artwork in the end?
No idea. I tried to look up some research, find out where it came from.
Right.
Find out who drew it, for crying out loud. There's not even
the woman.
There's no.
Yeah, that's what I always thought. It's like, who is this?
The characters in the end credits. They are just there for the artwork. They never show up. You never see that weird fox with the horn on its head. The best theory I came across was like because this was technically a sequel to a semi-sequel to a previous manga, that this was somewhere else. These locations were somewhere else out in the galaxy. That if Gene and Jim and the whole gang flew off long enough, flew far enough, long enough, they might run into these people. But for the most part, it's just sci-fi artwork, but it's beautiful sci-fi artwork.
Yeah. Oh, hey Drew, going back to what you said earlier about the this and Cowboy Bebop being done at the same time,
around the same time.
No, it was actually produced and developed at Sunrise Studios at the same time.
Okay, well,
so that's why you see the trailer for the other.
Right. Well, and I remember Cowboy Bebop airing because like at the time Adult Swim, when it first started airing, most of the shows were what I call the for the high crackheads, for lack of a better term, the weird stuff. And then at like midnight they would show Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Well, I had to be asleep by midnight, and I might have gotten away with it, but I didn't try. Yeah. So I just didn't watch Cowboy Bebop for a long time.
Same.
Just kept seeing the commercials for it while I was staying up late because I could get away with staying up late.
By the time I stayed up late one night to watch it, they had some other show on.
Right. So I think at some point they moved it. The schedule changed. Cowboy Bebop, I know I watched while it was still on Adult Swim, but I did not know who any of the people were. And while I enjoyed it, this was the one I came in as like, oh, this is actually quite interesting. So
you gravitated to this one.
I gravitated to this one. That's just how the dice roll sometimes.
Yeah. And apparently there's a big thing online where they're always comparing these two together. There's always debate.
Yeah.
There's a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
So you want to go ahead and jump into the next episode?
Sure.
Episode 2, World of Desires. Except if you look on IMDb, where it's called, hang on, I got off the screen.
Don't you hate that?
Mm-hmm.
It's got a different name on IMDb for some reason.
Outlaw Star 2, The Search for More Money.
The Star of Desire. So yeah, on IMDb, it's called The Star of Desire for some reason. This episode first aired in Japan on January 15th, 1998, and an English dub first aired on January 16th, 2001. It was written by Hajime Yatate and directed by Mitsuru Hongo. In this episode, the girl in the container is revealed to be Melfina, who wakes up from suspended animation. Escaping from the guild pirates in a dropship, Jean, Jim, Hilda, and Melfina go into space. They then take Hilda's spaceship Horus to Blue Heaven, an outlaw hangout. A Corbinite named Swanzo is enlisted to repair and resupply Horus. Jim takes Melfina shopping, while Jean and Hilda go to a bar and get into an altercation with McCoy and his lackeys. As a result, they're attacked that night in their bedroom. Guest cast for this episode, a new cast for this episode, we got Dave Mallow as Jean's father, Norman Starwind, in that flashback. Michael Gregory is the voice of Horus, the computer. Doug Stone plays Swanzo, and Bo Billingsley is introduced as the narrator. And then we get the interesting case of Melfina's English voice actress, because there's 2 listings on IMDb for Melfina, namely Emil de Azevedo Brown and Bridget Hoffman. I can't find anywhere that explains which one is actually doing the voice and why the other's name exists. The consensus is that Emil Brown did the voice for the show, but where Bridget Hoffman's name comes from, when she voiced Melfina, we don't know.
Interesting.
But she is still listed, so just to play it safe, I'm mentioning both names.
Interesting.
Fair.
So, what are y'all's thoughts on this episode, Paul?
I thought it was interesting. They did some interesting things. First of all, I liked how both this episode and the previous one ended on a cliffhanger. Made me want to watch the next episode. And I thought it was interesting. In the second episode, they went into some of the backstory of Jean. And usually you don't see that. Usually it's like in the first episode or way later when they have to come up with like, oh, for plot convenience, we have to seed this in here somewhere.
Yeah.
So I thought it was interesting to see some of Jean's backstory and growing up. And of course they did it the Japanese, what do you call it? Their philosophy way, like every boy has to grow up, but every man still has those dreams that they once had as a boy. So I thought that was interesting.
That narration of where the narrator will seem to wax philosophically about something before the opening sequence, that continues throughout the rest of the show. Sometimes, like I know there's one later episode where they're actually explaining the difference between humans and cyborgs and biodroids, which we won't get into what that is right now.
Okay.
But that goes all through the show where there's like this almost like this weird philosophical thing at the beginning that technically relates to the episode. The first episode is the only one that doesn't do it since they used the footage from the unaired pilot.
Interesting. All right. And I thought it was weird in that place where they land and hide out. They have these rules, these weird rules, and I tried to follow them. Like, okay, no shooting guns, but how do you enforce that? Like,
Oh, the thing about the no shooting guns, I think, is because if you hit because it's a pressurized.
Right, they said it would destroy everything. But once one does that, then those people are sucked out into space anyway.
Right.
So how do you enforce that?
I think nature enforces that. But your thing is, you're probably taking out like 3 or 4 other people too. So how the robot tank at the end gets away with it, I don't know, because he's obviously got a gun barrel on the front of it. But it's like, you don't use your gun. Why? Because he's not.
Right.
Just because he's got his weird little lightsaber thing. Or it's not a lightsaber, it's a blowtorch, but still.
Yeah, I thought it was weird. This is supposed to be like in the future, but they were all carrying knives, and I'm like, well, don't you have something more futuristic or more?
Oh, they're obviously made out of space titanium.
Yeah, or well, still, but like, I was hoping for a little something more imaginative, like, oh, okay, we can't use guns, but we can use these. I'm not expecting lightsabers, but something that,
Especially when at the beginning we have this giant shootout with a big magic gun.
Right.
True.
And then it goes down to, oh, it's a knife fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah. The momentum there is lost.
It's that thing where you've got this big action sequence, but then you technically need a smaller one because some reason.
Yeah.
Pacing.
It was interesting. Continued the story.
You need a way to I'm assuming a way to kill a character. I say assuming because it's been a while since I've watched this show, so I don't remember the exact plot of it. But I know, like I said, I know Hilda does. I know Hilda's not a major reoccurring character after the beginning. I just don't know when or why she leaves.
Oh, interesting.
So she's I think I know why she leaves, but it's been, like I said, it's been a hot minute since I've watched the show.
Fair.
Jacob.
Yeah, because this is a bit like I said before, like the episodes do they bleed into each other.
Right.
They do have where, like, definitely these first like 3 or 4 episodes, they do bleed into each other, and they have like, what are our characters' motivations? Why are they doing this? Why is Hilda doing this? And there's this oh my gosh, when you get into the first episode, amazing. You get Melfina and all that, be like that great reveal, and then it's like more of a shootout. Let's say that more of a shootout. They have to escape and go into this one place. Like I agree with you, Paul. It's like how do you enforce a law where you can't shoot or you can't do anything kind of violent, but how do you enforce that? It's kind of weird, but it's outlaw country, but you can't shoot each other.
Yeah,
that makes no sense.
Right.
Yeah.
And why would you stay there? Because anyone could come in and shoot and kill you, and suck you out into space, even if they don't hit you.
Yeah, a little bit odd, but overall, it's a good episode because it sets up what's going on, and I don't even think in this episode they mention the Outlaw Star or where
they do, because Hilda finally mentions to Jean right before McCoy shows up that what she's trying to do is get a ship, and I know that ship is the Outlaw Star.
Yeah,
will eventually be named the Outlaw Star.
Yeah, that's right. But overall, great episode.
I do have a couple of issues with this one, and y'all have brought up some of them, and that's the fact that there's a lot of the plot needs to go here, so we went here.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of this happens because at the very beginning, Jim goes off with Hilda to go get her drop ship, and they do talk while they're going out there, and maybe this is handled better in the Japanese than in the English. But when they get back, Jim says, I see you're getting along with Hilda. And Jim says, yeah, we came to an understanding. And it's like, so y'all made up off screen and we didn't get to see how or why.
Right. Yeah, there were some missing things that I expected. This is going to go into the trope of the girl trying on different clothes with the embarrassed guy there. That kind of thing. Or we're going to, like you said, Drew, this is going to go into, there's going to be some dramatic tension between these two.
Yeah. And it's cleaned up off screen. When they leave on Horus and leave the K pirates behind, you're telling me the K pirates are not chasing them?
Yeah.
I mean, they could come up, don't get me wrong, but it's like, shouldn't the K pirates really want Melfina now before? I don't remember what Melfina. I know Melfina is kind of weird these first couple episodes because she doesn't know anything.
Right. It was kind of weird in the first episode. They could find out where they were hiding in a castle or whatever, the K pirate. Yeah. But here, so I expected them to show up, be like, "Oh, you can't find them because they're shopping at a mall." I'm like, "What?"
I actually expected them to be the ones that. I want to call her Nina. That is not the character's name. Hilda and Jean had to fight off in the hotel. Right. That's who I expect, but it looks like it's not them because there's an obviously non-Taoist design to that robot. So, and we see Jean and her getting along fairly well with no real explanation there either, other than they shared a drink and talked friendly.
Right.
I mean, it's implied that they may have done something before McCoy and his goons showed up, but we don't. It doesn't even go into explaining that any. So there's a lot of instances where it seems like the plot needs this to happen, so this happens.
Yeah.
No other real good reason for that happening comes up. So
yeah, story wise.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an annoyance, but at the same time, the manga may have handled it better, and they just had to.
Yeah,
they only had a certain number of episodes. They could fit the story, and where it really flowed, and this was the episode that happened to.
And I was just about to say that. And how long do we want to settle on these side things that it's not part of the main thing?
Especially since the name of the ship is not the ship that the show's named after is not even on the show yet. Not to mention there's like two characters. There's still three characters in the opening that haven't joined the show yet. So.
Oh wow, yeah. This, like I said, this is my first time. So I thought Outlaw Star was basically they were talking about the main hero. He's an outlaw and he's a star.
Well, the ship is technically, I think, named after him in that way because you can see he has a star motif going about him, and his name is Star Wind.
Right.
And if I'm remembering correctly, granted it's been a while, he names the ship Outlaw Star because he accepts the life of an outlaw, and Star is his motif thing. So that's why he names the ship Outlaw Star.
And when they said there were like 3 different groups of people, Outlaw was one of them.
Outlaw, pirates, and the police. Basically,
pirates and they each one did like this. These people do this. These people do this.
They didn't really explain the police or the pirates, but they say the outlaws kind of just do their own thing. It's
right.
Like,
and I'm like, so pirates and the other people can't do that?
Apparently not. Basically, what I'm getting is the outlaws are your everyday good guys. The pirates are the bad guys, and the police are the ones that ruin everybody's fun.
Yeah, they're trying to maintain order.
In other words, what we're looking at is One Piece, just a lot shorter and in space.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe, I don't know. I did, despite those weird little jumps in logic, I did enjoy this episode. I'm curious. Like I said, I haven't seen this show in a hot bit, and so I remember bits and pieces. So I'm actually curious where this goes. I remember who Melfina is and why she's special, but I don't remember a lot of what happens to everybody. So
does she contain the hidden plans of the Death Star so that they can destroy?
Well, if you short version. If you go back and listen to that Toonami promo I did as our intro, they pretty much tell you what's so special about her because of where the treasure is.
The galactic ley line.
So she is the MacGuffin.
She is the MacGuffin, but she also does become her own character in her own right.
That is true.
So, before we get into the next episodes, I am curious, Paul. Are you going to keep watching the show?
Probably not.
Okay.
If I had all eternity, if we can watch these up in heaven, sure, I would take another gander. But there's so many there's so much media and content out now that I'm gonna have to put this on not on my continue list.
Fair enough. So the next episodes of the show that me and Jacob will be covering, and why I don't have this up, I don't know. Or why it's not popping up on my drive. Every other file is, but not the list. The next 2 episodes we're going to be watching next week are Into Burning Space and When the Hot Ice Melts. I suspect episode 4 is the last one with Hilda. It's just from the title alone.
Hot Ice.
Yeah, because they kept calling her Hot Ice Hilda in this.
Oh. Okay.
So join us next week for that, along with Runaway Brain. Paul, why don't you tell us where we can find you at online?
Well, there's a website called pauljpowers.com where I have all my social media links. You can find out what I've been up to lately. No matter when you hear this episode, when it drops, you go to pauljpowers.com to find out more about me.
Awesome.
Nice.
And since he didn't say, he's also a co-host of the Retro Rewind podcast, which we promoted earlier in the episode.
Yes.
Absolutely.
With a certain Roy.
If you enjoy movies, video games that are 15 years or older, there's a chance we might review some of your favorites. So go check out retrorewindpodcast.com and do a search for some of your favorite movies. Give us a listen and maybe a review.
Bear in mind, their opinions may not sync with yours.
Which is fair.
Well, that's the point of having opinions, right?
Yeah, that is the point.
That is true.
It's just fun giving Roy a hard time. So, yeah, join us next week for all those things. In the meantime, this has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
And I'm pauljpowers.com.
And we'll catch you in the next frame.
To follow Jacob and Drew's individual internet exploits, check out the Linktree links in the show notes.
Eventually.
You can email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter or X at @cast_cell. Follow our Facebook page, The Cellcast Podcast, and join our Facebook group, The Cell Nation, our YouTube channel, Cellcast, and our Rumble channel, The Cellcast Gaming. You can join us every Friday night at 7 p.m. Central for our live recordings of our episodes on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. You can also join Drew on those same streaming channels on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Central for gaming streams. You can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else fine podcasts can be downloaded from. Please rate and review us where you found us. Our theme song is Drop and Roll by Silent Partner. Our bad movie theme is It's Party Time by Gregory Snegoff, with additional audio from the film Titanic: The Legend Goes On. And remember, that's Cell with a single L.
I have this weird wanting of berry gum for some reason.
Hopefully it's not
just
strong.
wait for Daffy to show up and ruin the day.
Right.
That's all, folks.